The morning sun poured gently through the tall windows of the Providence courtroom. It was supposed to be a routine hearing, another name, another fine, another day. But destiny had written something different that day. A little girl, no older than 7, sat quietly on the hard wooden bench. Her tiny hands clutched the sleeve of a man beside her. Her father, eyes sunken, shoulders heavy, wearing a faded work jacket with a city logo half torn at the corner. As the clerk called his name, he stood, trembling. His daughter followed, her innocent eyes darting across the room filled with strangers. Judge Caprio looked up from his papers, and for a brief second, the air seemed to pause. The little girl's tears slipped down her cheek before a word was even spoken. The charge was simple: unpaid parking tickets, months overdue. But the story behind them wasn't simple at all. The man had lost his job at a construction site after an injury. He worked nights delivering food now, barely making enough to cover rent. Every ticket he couldn't pay became another mountain of shame. But he kept showing up, because his daughter deserved a father who didn't give up. The courtroom sat still as the bailiff read out the amount owed, a few $100s. To some, it was nothing. To him, it was everything. Judge Caprio studied the man's face. The exhaustion, the fear, the quiet guilt of a father trying to do right but falling short. And then he noticed the girl again. Her small hands clutched her father's. Her lips trembled as she whispered something only he could hear. That's when she began to cry. Not loud, not desperate, but with the silent heartbreak of a child watching her hero struggle. The courtroom that had once buzzed with murmurs now fell into complete silence. Even the sound of the clock ticking felt loud. Judge Caprio leaned back, his eyes softening. In that moment, it wasn't about the law. It was about life. He had seen countless faces in that courtroom, but something about this scene struck deeper than usual. He took a slow breath, setting the file aside. There was no lecture, no harsh tone, only a look of quiet understanding. For a long moment, he simply watched the father comfort his daughter, a man who had lost much, but not his dignity. And then came the turning point, the decision that would echo across millions of screens later. Judge Caprio gently asked the little girl to come forward. She hesitated, then took small steps toward the bench, her shoes tapping softly on the floor. He smiled warmly, the kind of smile that makes a child feel safe in a room full of fear. After a brief moment, he reached into his drawer and pulled out an envelope. Inside was a note and a folded check. Not from the state, not from the court, but from Judge Caprio himself. He told the girl that sometimes life is hard for good people, and when that happens, it's okay for the world to give something back. Then he handed the envelope to her father. No punishment, no fine, just humanity. The father broke down in tears, holding his daughter close. The courtroom rose in quiet applause, some wiping their own eyes, realizing they had just witnessed something rare. Real compassion in action. As the father and daughter walked out, hand in hand, the little girl turned one last time toward the bench and whispered a thank you that no microphone caught. But every heart felt. Judge Caprio sat still for a moment, his eyes slightly glassy. He knew that true justice wasn't always in the letter of the law, but in the spirit of kindness. That day, the courtroom learned something powerful. Justice doesn't always wear a robe. Sometimes it wears a heart. Behind every case number is a human story. Compassion doesn't weaken justice, it completes it. If this moment restored your faith in humanity, hit subscribe and join us for more real stories of justice, compassion, and unforgettable courtroom moments with Judge Caprio.